Can you hear me? Okay, let's go ahead and let him in. Come back. Just as a reminder, please turn on your camera when you can and announce yourself when asking a question. And with that, we'll open it up to Coach.
Okay, good to see everybody. Had a chance to just right now finishing up a lot of the things that we do during the course of the day in terms of looking back and studying the game and kind of determining all the different adjustments and processes going forward to try to continue to get better and get ready for the next game. So that's been a good process. But happy with the win after having done that. Extremely pleased with the defense. Also, I thought special teams were solid. And then the offensive line did a really good job of adapting, with the changes and stuff like that. And I thought those guys did a solid job. One thing kind of wanted to mention, it doesn't really get talked about much, but, we kind of all know it. You guys, as you guys and gals and, as a media corps, you see it in the stadium, but it's quite a different atmosphere. And I just want to say, we miss our fans. We got a great fan base. That stadium would have been rocking and rolling yesterday, and they would have been fired up for what they saw. And I think they would have been really into the game. And not just that, but, the interactions with the fans, driving in, seeing them tailgating, the cheering, the high fives, the smiling faces, the not-so-smiling faces sometimes, all the different things that kind of go into that. I just wanted to mention that. We've got great fans, even on the road, and we miss you. We hear you. We know you're out there. We know you're cheering, and we really appreciate you. I just wanted to say that. And the other thing, the thing that's really cool at the game is the drum corps. And I don't know if the people on TV get a chance to hear that or not, but that drum corps is first rate. It kind of reminds you of Friday Night Lights out there, and I hope it's a tradition. I'm going to put pressure on Dick Cass right now. That needs to be a tradition that we carry forward here in the future, inside the stadium and outside the stadium, maybe even in the tailgating when that comes back, because that drum corps is really, it's football to me, and it makes a statement. So thanks to all the people that are watching and care, and we'll see you soon when this whole thing gets back to normal. With that, what questions do you have?
Hey, Coach. I'm sorry. Coach, you referenced the offensive line. We're looking back at the tape. How well did they perform in pass coverage? And does Lamar Jackson have enough time to do his reads, or has he been under a lot of pressure, the past 2 weeks?
Yeah. I thought it was solid. Like I said, there was pretty good pass protection there for the most part. Lamar did a good job of going through his reads. I thought that, there was a couple times where they pressured us. They brought some blitzes and things like that. We didn't always handle them the right way. One or two we were hot. Another one or two they should have been picked up, and Lamar got surprised by that. It's not just the offensive line, it's the backs. Everybody's involved in that. But so it wasn't perfect by any stretch. I just felt like they did a good job overall as a group under the circumstances. The tackles played really well, and I thought the young McCarry, Pat McCarry going in there, and Ben Powers going in there. They played pretty well for just getting thrown in there and trying to fill in a little bit when they hadn't been playing. So I do believe we have some young depth in there. We'll get Tyree back pretty soon. It's a young group in there. Even Brad Bozeman's a pretty young guy. So I know we're a work in progress. Not saying it's perfect by any stretch, but I just thought they stepped up and did pretty well.
Hey, John, this is Jamison. With the defense, there was a lot of changes this offseason with Calais, Derek Wolfe, Patrick Queen, even Deshaun kind of getting thrown in there, towards the end of training camp. How impressive have you been how they've gelled so quickly, and does it, even though they've played at a very high level, does it kind of give you some optimism that there's even more growth because they still haven't been together for very long?
Oh, yeah. I just feel like the thing I was really happy with and proud of was the way they played. Sometimes it's not the outcome, it's how you play that really is what you evaluate. And then the outcomes tend to take care of themselves. So the pursuit, the effort, the discipline, the technique, their eyes, back to front, all the way through the defense, to me was really, really good. And like you said, is definitely very encouraging. And we never take that for granted, because that's something you've got to pack and bring every single week. You got to focus on that. You got to be locked in, play after play, to play as disciplined and as hard and as well as they did. So that's something we just have to keep bringing. Keep bringing in practice, keep bringing in games, and that's when as a defense, you can kind of build a season in terms of focusing on that part of it every single week. And that's the thing I'm most proud of.
Hey John, this is Daniel Fusti from the Baltimore Sun. I wanted to ask about the secondary. Two things. We saw Jimmy on the outside a lot more than usual. Was that more just kind of a tactical switch, given the Bengals offense and some of the receivers they have? And then Gilchrist, we saw him on defense and special teams. Just what does he bring to the defense, and what do you see?
Right. Well, with Jimmy, we've got Marlon in the slot quite a bit, so to be able to put Jimmy outside, I think he was feeling good and he was moving really well, and so he played. That's kind of how we organized it. Of course, we still have Anthony. Nothing against Anthony, but Jimmy, played a little more corner than he did safety this week. He still played. I think he played a little safety, but we had brought Gilchrist up, as you said, and he was able to play some of those safety roles for us. So, adding the pieces there was good for us. I think it helped us, and anytime we can, kind of spread those reps around a little bit, that's good. And they all played well, so that's positive.
Hey, John. Bo Smokewood Press Box. We've seen you a lot of times. You love going on 4th and 1. Yesterday, at 4th and 6 near midfield, you decided to go for it. It looked like the play might have been there, but what went into that decision?
Yeah, that was kind of one where we might have run a play, we might have taken the delay kind of a situation. I think I got a little too cute on that one. I mean, the players are telling me, no, don't worry about it. We're glad you went for it, but I'm second guessing myself on that one too. So I understand that we might have been just as well off to punt him down in there, pin him back, and try to get him to punt, 3 and out. So believe me, the same concerns you had on that one, Bo. After that play, I was kind of asking myself the same questions.
Hey, Coach Sean Stepner, WMAR, ABC Baltimore. Back to the defensive secondary, and you mentioned it in your post-game comments yesterday. The 5 sacks hasn't happened too many times in the history since they started keeping sacks. After watching it again this morning, anything stand out to you? Just how impressed you were with that statistic, getting to the quarterback, your defensive backs? Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it starts with, and I found out today it never has happened, Sean. So that was a first, which I'm sure the guys will be proud of. But first of all, just the way they blitzed. I mean, they came. They timed it up well. There was good disguise. I thought with that the coverage was excellent. Behind the blitzes, so there was no real easy place to go with the ball quickly, which is very important. Good angles. The guys that weren't rushing, the DBs will get the credit, but whether it was linebackers or defensive linemen who were rushing the other gaps, I thought they did a good job of doing their job and eating up some of those blocks. The defensive backs aren't usually accounted for in the protection quite as much, and that stayed true. They were mostly free runners, so the guys did a good job with that. Then, you get a big quarter. Joe Burrow has proven that he can get out of the grasp of any rusher, especially a defensive back. I thought our guys did a really good job of keeping him in the grasp. So all those are really good things for us, and it's part of our defense, and I'm really glad it showed up the way it did in the game.
Hey, John Childs at the Sun. I know how excited you were coming into the year about Miles Boykin. I think over the last 3 games, he's only got 8 targets, 3 catches. What can he do, and what can you guys do to kind of help him get going?
Well, he's playing well, even though the catches aren't there. I know that's how kind of receivers are measured, but he's in the right spots, he's running the right routes, and he's blocking really well. So those are all things that are kind of unseen, unsung type of things that get noticed probably more by coaches and by other players maybe than they do necessarily when you're watching it on TV or whatever. But we want to get them more involved. We want to get all those guys more involved. I think just getting better across the board in terms of everything we're doing offensively will get everybody involved. So you can't just – I don't think you can say really, Childs, hey, we want to get this guy and we want to get this guy or that guy. You start chasing that, then I don't know, you kind of lose track of who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. So I'm really confident that those guys are going to get their catches as we go forward and continue to improve.
John, it's Ryan Mink from Ravens Media. Just wondering what you saw from Justin Madubuike in his debut.
Yeah, Ryan, he was really physical, really played hard, and ran to the ball. I thought he was a force in there. He's still a couple things technique-wise. He got washed a little bit on some of the runs. He even told me that after the game in the locker room. He's the first one talking about that, so he'll be chasing improvement there. But it's a good start for him. I thought he played well.
John, this is Jameson again. I was wondering what your reaction was when the Bengals decided to kick a field goal down 27-0 in the final minute.
I don't know. We were definitely, you always want the shutout. If we'd have kept them out of there, and then got a couple stops, short yards, or maybe played a little better a couple times, in that drive on first and second down, and kept them out of the short yardage situations, it wouldn't have even been a factor. So I guess you got to just kind of look at it that way and just leave it at that.
John Dave Ginsburg, past couple of weeks, Lamar's talked about how you guys game plan something and then defense comes out and shows you something completely different. Is that what you've seen the past few weeks, and that maybe explains why 37 passes yesterday, because maybe they were just trying to stop the run?
Well, yes and no. And, just to kind of talk about it, they did do something completely different. They were in a true college 4-3 type of a look. They're playing quarters with the safeties low. They played that in the past, but they hadn't played it yet this year. So it was a new defense that we thought we might get, but we didn't get a chance to rep it out very much just because they hadn't done it yet this year. And I think that is indicative, to your point, David. That happens to us quite a bit. So that's something we've got to learn to deal with and handle as an offense because we run a unique scheme. As far as the passing numbers, I went back and looked at that. I've got them here. I really don't have a problem with the numbers. I mean, 37 passes and was it 27 runs, 28 runs? That's something, but that's not the whole story. There were 11 passes in 2 minutes at the end of the half. So 11 of those passes came in 2 minutes, and we had 2 2-minute drives at the end of the half, and those were pretty much all passes. So those are going to be passes. So those 11 passes are what they are. They're situational. On first and second down throughout the course of the game, we had 20 runs and 13 passes. So that's a high number in the NFL. It's even high for us, but it's 60. Isn't it about 60%? I think if you do the math, I'm not sure. You guys are probably better at math than me, but I don't mind 20-13 as far as a run-pass ratio on first and second down. Third down, we had 11 passes. We had 4 runs even. So, that's something that really is based on whether you're in third and short, third and medium, third and long. So a lot of this stuff is situational. Then at the end of the game, we had 5 plays in the fourth quarter, including the victory play at the end. So, it's almost like they ran our 4-minute for us at the end of the game, the way they were moving the ball down the field kind of methodically trying to get that score. So, and they kind of chewed the clock up for us. I mean, I would have loved to have punted, forced a punt, got them off the field, and gotten the ball back and had a chance to run the ball some more at the end of the fourth quarter. So I think the basic raw numbers are more indicative of the situations that we were in than they were any design or anything play calling was. But I'd like to see us, I think what we all want to do is just continue to improve execution and how we attack defenses that we're going against. So like I said last week, we're still very much a work in progress. We have a lot to improve on. Run, pass options, quarterback driven, play action pass, all those things are things that we've got to chase all areas and continue to improve. And I think the game planning and in the end the run pass numbers, will take care of themselves.
Anything else for Coach?
Hey, this is Aaron Cousins at Penn Live. Just to check on Lamar, I know you said that his knee wasn't bothering him, but do you expect him to be able to practice all 3 times this week if nothing comes up?
Yes, expect him to practice the whole week, as you said, if nothing comes up. So he should be good to go.
Hey, John, Mark Viviano. You've always preached the importance of practice. Was it anything noticeable about a lack of practice for Lamar that reflected in how he was able to play yesterday?
Well, yeah. I mean, just like you said, I think we all believe in practice. Football is definitely a practice sport, whether it's technique, timing, chemistry, just understanding the game plan inside and out, not because you studied it, but because you operated it and practiced it. So it's always going to have an effect. I think veteran players, especially, certain positions can practice less and be ready to play more, but it's important for everybody to practice, especially important for the quarterback. So while Lamar can do it, and he played winning football, and he made some really good plays out there. I mean, I know we're going to get lost a little bit in the numbers and the efficiency of it and all those kind of things. And, heck, we want more first downs. We want to move the chains. We want more yards. We want more points. We do, and we have to improve as the season goes on to achieve the things that we want to achieve. By the same token, just Lamar himself made some really great plays. He moved around out there and made some throws, and when we scored the 17 points, he was the main driver of that. So, I'm happy with that part. But Lamar himself, just I know how he is. I know how he's going to be when he comes in here tomorrow. He's not going to be happy. He's already been in here. He's already seen the tape, and he's going to want to do better. But I agree with you. I think practice is a big part of that, and we really need all our guys practicing as much as possible.
John, this is just Beck. You guys have been asked all since this draft about getting all these running backs involved. We saw Dobbins get only one carry, yesterday. Has it been a challenge when you've had some short scoring drives and where you've not maintained a ton of possessions to keep all those guys in rhythm?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what rhythm. Rhythm is kind of hard to say. That'd be kind of a hard thing to measure. But I think Gus had 28 plays, Mark had 15, and J.K. had 18. So that's something that could change from one game to the next in terms of what plays we're running and all that. But unless you're going to play one guy most all the plays, it's always going to be, why didn't this guy carry the ball? Or why didn't that guy get more reps? So that's probably a conversation, Jeff, that we're going to have all year because we have three guys and we're going to play them. So who gets the carries? Who gets the the catches? Who has to block? In the pass protection. That's going to be a little bit of the function of the game plan and also a little bit of the function of the game and the way it plays out. So, if we could get more plays, that's the other thing. We had 60 or so plays on offense, I think. I'd like to be 70. I'd like to be close to 80 if we're really clicking. Those are all things that I think that can happen to, just bring everybody more into it. The wide receivers, I know they want to catch the ball more and they're doing some good blocking. Everybody wants to be more a part of what we're doing. And in the end, that all kind of comes together when you're executing well. You're moving the ball, you're getting first downs, you're scoring points. That stuff tends to take care of itself.
Hey, Jonas Schaefer at the Sun. Were there any communication issues with the headset on the first or second drive? It looked like Lamar was pointing at his head a couple times, and I think before he threw that touchdown pass, you were sprinting and almost had to call that timeout. Yeah, there were. I mean, we had problems with the communication the first two series, just like you said. You noticed it, and we had to signal them. Some of the plays in, the play clock got down on us a couple times. Even later in the game, we had a couple issues where we had to, Lamar even had to call a play or two. So, yeah, that's the way it works. But we do practice that. We practice the headsets being out and trying to operate that way. And I'll say this about Lamar: he's pretty darn incredible at handling the play clock, because I don't know how many too many quarterbacks would have gotten some of those plays off without timeouts, especially the one you're talking about. I was just certain he wasn't going to get it off, and then, you just kind of looked at it, it's like, I think he's got it, and took a chance, and he got it snapped around in time. No, I see him do a lot in practice too, so he's just really good at that part of it.
Hey, John, this is Dan from the Sun again. We saw that you guys elevated Tristan Clone Castillo to the game day roster, but he wasn't active. I know you guys get 2 freebies with guys kind of going up from the practice squad. Was there any reason behind not being active?
Yeah, there was. I'm going to have to defer that answer. If you can get Eric on the phone, maybe I'll just defer it to him. I don't want to speak for Eric, but there were roster strategic reasons, I guess is the best. I was going to say strategery, how would that have gone over? Blast from the past. But there was a reason or two for it. We really like Tristan. He's going to be on the 53 very soon. So I guess that's probably the big answer there. I expect him to come up pretty soon, but that was just part of our way of working the process out.
Coach, what do you think of Mark Andrews' flip in the first half?
Right. Well, yeah, he made some great plays. That's the thing kind of was talking about a little bit with Lamar, and Mark was a big part of that. Marquise was a part of that too, a few of those plays. But Mark came up with some catches. The one touchdown catch, I don't know how he even saw the ball. He was getting held. he was getting pulled, and he still managed to come off and make the catch. That's really what NFL football is. I mean, all the other stuff that goes into it is hopefully putting guys in position to make those plays as best you can as a coach. And when you don't do that, you get frustrated and upset with yourself when you don't put them in position to make the plays. But you guys making plays is what Sunday's about, and that's why I say it's a player's game. It's a player's game on Sunday for sure, and Mark definitely epitomized that, especially like you said in the first half.
All right, Coach. Appreciate your time. To the media, thank you for your time, and we'll see you back here on Wednesday.
Thanks, everybody.